Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. How are you all doing? Alhamdulillah. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما. Juz number 16.
قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا قال إن سألتك عن شيء بعدها فلا تصاحبني قد بلغت من لدني عذرا فانطلقا حتى إذا أتيا أهل قرية استطعما أهلها فأبوا أن يضيفوهما فوجدا فيها جدارا يريد أن ينقض فأقامه قال لو شئت لاتخذت عليه أجرا قال هذا فراق بيني وبينك سأنبئك بتأويل ما لم تستطع عليه صبرا
قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. Al-Khidr said, did I not tell you that with me you would never be able to have patience? Now this is Musa alayhi salam's second mistake. قال إن سألتك عن شيء بعدها فلا تصاحبني. Musa said, if I should ask you about anything after this, then do not keep me as a companion. You have obtained for me an excuse, meaning then you can send me away. If I ask you one more time, then you can send me away. Because 3 chances are good, right? 3 chances are good. The Prophet ﷺ said, may Allah have mercy on Musa ﷺ. Had he been patient, we could have learned more. So, فَانْطَلَقَا. So they set out. Until when they came to the people of a town, they asked its people for food. But they refused to offer them any hospitality. And they found therein a wall about to collapse. So Al-Khidr restored it. Musa ﷺ said, if you wished, you could have taken for it a payment. Now, he is making a suggestion over here. He's not really asking a question, but there's an implied question over here. Why would you do a favor to the people who didn't even offer food to you? And by the way, you did a service to them, so you could definitely charge them for it. So Al-Khidr said, this is parting between me and you. I will inform you of the interpretation of that about which you could not have patience. And what do we see about Al-Khidr over here? That he is satisfying the curiosity of Musa alayhi salam. Now, we see over here that the actions of Khidr, they kept Musa alayhi salam not only interested and alert, but also very curious. And that is the key to learning. That when the student is curious, then what happens? They're eager to learn. So over here, whatever Al-Khidr did, and the fact that he told him no questions allowed, it kept Musa alayhi salam alert, more interested, more curious. And whatever Khidr did in this journey, we see that apparently it didn't make much sense. Killing a boy, building a wall of a people who refuse to offer you any hospitality, and making a hole in a ship. I mean, all of this seems illogical, nonsensical. However, as we will learn in the following verses, that there was much hidden benefit in them. And there are many things in life that are like this. We don't understand why they are happening. They seem so illogical, counterproductive. But they happen. They seem unfair, they seem unjust, but in the bigger picture, they have a plus side to them as well. You know, for example, a person could be sick, and they might feel like, why this is happening to them? Why? But in the big picture, they realize that that sickness was indeed better for them. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings about good because of that sickness. Allah causes families to come together when one person is ill. Isn't it so? When one person is ill in the family, then what happens? Everybody is constantly calling each other. How are they doing? Do they need anything? The family is close together. But then what happens when that person is back at home? Everything is fine. Then a week goes by and nobody calls the other. There's no contact, no communication. So we see that when we are going through some hardship, it is difficult to accept it. Why? Because we don't understand why it's happening. And there are many things in life that are like this. But as we will see, that there is good in everything that Allah decrees. And eventually, we accept that what happened was indeed the best thing that could have ever happened. Right now we don't understand. But after many years, we understand. After some time, we understand. So what we learn from this is that no matter what happens in life, always, always be happy with the decree of Allah. Just accept it. رَضِيتُ بِاللَّهِ رَبَّا. Oh Allah, I accept you as my Lord. You are my God. You created me. You know what my struggles are. You know what I'm facing. And you decide my affairs. So if you have decreed this for me, I don't understand why. But if you decreed it, I trust your decision. Now, Al-Khidr explains why he did what he did. He says, as for the ship, it belonged to some poor people working at the sea. So I intended to cause defect in it, as there was after them a king who seized every good ship by force. So if their ship was perfectly fine, without a hole, what would happen? The king would see the ship and he would take it by force. And these poor people would be left with no ship at all. So what is better, having no ship or having a damaged ship? A damaged ship. And as for the boy, his parents were believers, and we feared that he would overburden them by transgression and disbelief. فَأَرَادْنَا. So we intended that their Lord should substitute for them one better than him in purity and nearer to mercy. These are the qualities of a good child, of a good daughter, of a good son. What? That a good child is خَيْرًا مِنْهُ زَكَاةً وَأَقْرَبَ رُحْمًا. Respectful. And one who shows good akhlaq to his parents. Because the parents are the most deserving of good akhlaq. They are the most deserving of our love, of our mercy, respect, obedience. And likewise, they are also most deserving of silatul rahim. That we should maintain ties with them. That no matter what they do, we still stay connected with them. No matter what mistake they made, we still forgive them. And we show mercy to them and ask Allah to show mercy to them as well. Ubay ibn Ka'b said that the boy whom Al-Khidr had killed would grow up to be a disbeliever. And had he lived, he would have moved his parents to rebellion and unbelief also. You see, it's somebody's choice. If they want to be a disbeliever, that's fine. If they don't want to believe, they want to have a different faith, that's perfectly fine. However, when this will cause damage to the parents and cause them pain and hurt, and Ubay ibn Ka'b said that he would have moved his parents to rebellion and unbelief, meaning he would make them disbelieve also, then this was a problem. Now, what do we see over here? That there are hidden benefits in every decree of Allah Azza wa Jal. In everything that goes against our wishes, remember that there is benefit. Allah knows and we do not know. But what we see in these verses is that the child who is rebellious to his parents, the child who is rebellious to his parents, was he deserving of life? What happened? His life was taken away. Why? So that he's not a source of hurt and annoyance for his righteous parents. What does this teach us? Hurting parents, is that something acceptable? Causing them pain, is that okay? No. Causing them grief, this is a sin and it has consequences in this life also. So anytime we feel there's some difficulty in our lives and we cannot understand why it's happening and what the solution is, what the way forward is, think back. Think, how was I to my parents? Did I ever do something to hurt them? If I did, apologize. Is there something I'm doing that my parents do not like? Fix it. And pray for them also. Pray for the parents also. Because disobedience to parents, hurting parents, this is something that has terrible consequences in this life also. It's a major sin. And as for the wall, it belonged to 2 orphan boys in the city. And there was beneath it a treasure for them. And their father had been righteous. So your Lord intended that they reach maturity and extract their treasure. What do we see over here? If the parents are righteous, then the children benefit in this life also. Regardless of whether they are alive or not. Because these parents were dead. Their children were orphans. Remember, we don't protect our children. Who protects our children? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does. We don't protect our property. Who does? Allah does. So we have to make Allah happy so that Allah will take care of all of our affairs. All of our affairs. Because when we give Allah His haqq, our ultimate love is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then what will happen? He will take care of everything. And this was as a mercy from your Lord. This was rahmah. Rahmatan min rabbik. And we are always in need of Allah's mercy. Whenever there is a problem, ask Allah, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, bi rahmatika astaghith. Al-Khidr said, I did not do any of this out of my own accord. Meaning this is not what I wanted to do, what I felt like doing. No, I was instructed to do this, and this is why I did it. That is the interpretation of that about which you could not have patience. And you see, when the reality comes to light, you wonder how foolish you have been for being angry previously, for being impatient. So over here, when you see these verses, you look at the anger of Musa a.s., the frustration. How could you kill a boy? How could you make a hole in the ship? You could have taken a payment. Musa a.s. is so angry, and he's justified, apparently. But then in the big picture, when you see why Al-Khidr did what he did, then what happens? You find yourself to be so foolish for being impatient, for being angry. So whenever something goes against your desire, what do you have to do? Control your tongue over there. Be patient over there. Something apparently bad is happening, but it has a good side to it. What is that good side? Allah will bring it about. But wait for it patiently.